New England Historic Genealogical Society is a library and archive that helps people research their family history. We've been here in Boston since 1845. We have more than 28 million items in our collection for the United States, Canada, Europe, and around the world to help people research their family history, to understand where their ancestors came from, and to help with the discovery of identity.
I think everyone has a curiosity of their origin, from whence they came. I mean, and of course now with the age of DNA, people are looking even further back than the paper trail can tell us. It's a very fun. For me, I was 7 years old, before DNA and before computers. I didn't know all my grandparents. So for me, learning my genealogy got me to learn about my ancestors that I didn't know. And I've been doing it now for 42 years.
Well, it started off when I was a child. My mother told me that my ancestor took Paul Revere across the Charles River to begin his ride, and that his name was Bentley. And so, nobody had the time back then or the resources, and you had to go from town to town to find things. So with the advent of online, it makes it easier to do. And it was always my goal to connect my family from my generation back to the Bentley, who was involved in the revolution in a big way.
I've looked for some family members that lived in a little town called, I think it was Erie in New York, and I can't really find out anything about them, but I feel that possibly I could find out more about the area and the time that they lived in, and that would be helpful. I feel as though here I might get some real actual copies of things that I've only just seen online before, but I could actually look at the real thing here.
I know that that's a thing now, that a lot of the ancestry websites are doing DNA testing. I've done the 23andMe ancestry testing, which I think is more general. It kind of tells you generally like where in Europe your ancestors are from. It doesn't really match you with specific families. I think some of the other tests will actually match you with people. So I've not done that, but I would definitely consider it, because I might have some relatives I don't even know about that could be around either here or in Italy that I could find that way.
I'm looking to find further back in my family, but finding new cousins with DNA is really great. And I've found several recently, or they found me, and on my husband's family, I've had everybody in the family do DNA. I've got like 25 people that I followed the DNA for.
There are a lot of people that are deleting their results or going into the company and saying, delete everything you have on my family. The way I look at it personally, if my second cousin murdered 2 people, or more than murdered 1 person, if my DNA is going to help persecute that person, I have no problem with it. The person's guilty, they've done a crime. However, sloppy research, pinpointing a first cousin or a sibling, they could accuse you of doing it based on the same type of evidence. So it really has to be scientifically analyzed.
I can understand people's concerns about it, but I don't think I'm concerned right now. But I do understand why people have concerns about privacy. I mean, I do have concerns about privacy in other regards, but
I think this is kind of a new thing that hasn't really been an issue until now, but now that people are doing this a lot more, I think that there will be more privacy concerns, because this is a case where they're using it to catch a criminal, but then if anyone has access to the database, they could be using it for other things that no one really knows what they're doing with it. So I think definitely people should be aware of what the implications are, because they might not know that it's public data.
Well, the technology is there and they're using it. I know you can get yourself involved in the research part of it that goes on if you want to let them use your genes or whatever, your DNA to do that. I think if you never killed anybody, you don't have a problem. If you are a criminal, I'd be glad they found you.
It's fascinating stuff, and like I say, it is controversial. I have been tested with every DNA company. I have no plans to remove my stuff. If the insurance agencies want to get it, the pharmacies are trying to do it to maybe help produce better drugs, if it's gonna save people from cancer or other things, I'm all for it. If it's gonna make me not qualified for insurance because of a presupposed condition, because some of your DNA can tell you what you're what you are predisposed to get, that would be a problem. And I would feel kind of strongly that that should be a legality issue.
But I think it's a good thing to do and to know, especially medically. You know, I've had all kinds of genetic profiling done at Mass General because there's so many people in my family that have breast cancer, and a good deal of them by the age of 49, which is a whole different kind of breast cancer usually. And one side of my family has so much of that, and then the same side of the family, the men have a lot of lung cancer, or a couple of different kinds of cancer. And so doing my family tree, I've also done all the cancer in my family tree, and that's at Mass General. So that in a way that's a research, and they know that, you know, we're there. They're saying that we don't have the gene that, you know, that would tell them that we were going to have this, but they figure there are other genes out there that they will find in the future. So that's a whole different part of this, isn't it?